In a world full of boring stories, bad videos, and marketing misinformation, one very tall man with a weird last name will use his microphone,
Is this thing on?
use his video marketing knowledge,
The red button, right?
and use his friends
Please be on the show.
to change that. You are listening to the Garlic Marketing Show with Ian. What? No, that's how you pronounce it. Well, if you say so, your host, Ian Garlic.
And welcome to the Garlic Marketing Show. Ian Garlic here, and our guest today is a superstar because of YouTube. And we're talking about growing your YouTube channel. We're going to talk about how he got there, how to get millions of subscribers, all that's cool stuff. But first, a message from our sponsor. Are you looking for a videographer near you that understands your marketing strategy, or maybe an editor, or just don't even know what gear to get? Just go to storycruise.com. Storycruise.com is the ultimate resource to find education as well as videographers, editors, and video marketing experts like our guest today for your industry. So thanks so much, Adam LoDoce's, for being on the show. Let me, before you say thanks for being on, this guy has not only had millions of YouTube subscribers, but through YouTube has just landed a host spot on an awesome news show, Kate Plus Date. That's really, really cool. I love it. I mean, it's so crazy. You know, I was talking to my wife about it, and like, the kids are bigger. What happened? How did that work?
It was.
So, Adam, what was your first foray into getting into this? Because we're going to get into tactics. At the end of this, he's going to tell us exactly, we're going to dissect his YouTube channel, and he's going to tell us how to get tons of subscribers right now. But where did this all start?
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story. I'll make it as quick as possible. But out of college, I was a management consultant, hated the corporate world, so decided quickly that wasn't for me, and decided to become this weird profession known as a dating coach. So I quit my job, moved to LA, and started meeting a lot of people who are in the industry, kind of coaching people on how to be better at dating. Before I knew it, I was speaking around the country. I had the opportunity to lecture at over 300 universities across the country, which was amazing, like such a fun experience. But I got to a point in my life where I realized I really didn't like doing one-on-one coaching as much. And I also didn't like speaking because it involved a lot of travel. So I wanted to figure out a way. I mean, I still enjoy doing it, but I wanted to figure out a way that I could really get my message out there without having to go on the road or get on an airplane. I could wake up the next morning and have more sales and more impact. So I started a YouTube channel, and my first channel I started probably about I'd say 8 or 9 years ago, were my first videos I created. And they really didn't go anywhere. No one really watched them. I didn't get much business from it. And then I decided to actually shift all my focus to create this new brand called Sexy Confidence. And it was purely focused for women, and it was confidence building for your dating life. So it's a very specific niche. I knew exactly what I was targeting, and I decided that I was going to just go all in with this. So I sold my motorcycle, my Harley Davidson. I left my beautiful apartment in downtown Boston, got a roommate from Craigslist, and just stopped everything else I was doing and focused everything on YouTube. And it really didn't take too much longer from that point forward to get to that point where I was getting 30, 40,000 views a day.
Wow.
On the channel. And now it gets anywhere from 70 to 80,000 views a day on the channel, just like clockwork. And it really... The best part about all of it is not necessarily the views or the sales or anything like that. It's just being able to reach so many people with content that I created 5 years ago. And that has been a really incredible experience. And then just to top it all off, about 4 months ago, a producer from TLC reached out. They needed a dating expert for this new show, Kate Plus Date. And they found me through YouTube. And I've gotten a lot of press through YouTube. So it just kind of shows that it's this engine that continues to deliver value so long as you put value into it.
Yeah. And I want to get into how you put value into it. But someone might be thinking here like, hey, I'm not a dating coach. I'm not like this big thing. it will YouTube work for me? And you and I both know it will. But, let's talk a little about some of the other successes now that you've had, because your new company, viewership.com, you're helping people do this. Tell me about some people that aren't superstar Adam.
Yeah, definitely not. Look, the Adam you see right now is not the Adam I when I first started with this stuff. And I still, quite frankly, get so nervous. Like, I get nervous before this interview. I get nervous before in front of cameras. So I should say that it takes time and it takes effort, and it sometimes just never really goes away. You always get nervous before a first date. You always get nervous before a camera. So to answer your question, I was dipping my toes into the YouTube space because I had a lot of people asking me, how did you do this? How did this come about? And so I bought the domain viewership.com, and I started having some brands reach out, one of them being Neil Patel, who's a big digital marketer. We ended up working together, and he was my first big project where I'm like, he knows what he's doing in the digital marketing space, but not so much with YouTube. So at the time, he only had about 10,000 subscribers. And within a year of working with him, we got up to about 220,000 subscribers. He was getting about 1,000 to 2,000 views a day on the channel. By the end of that year, he was getting upwards of 25 to 30,000 views a day on the channel, which is just, we talk about views as if they really matter. What really matters, quite frankly, is your impact and your income. And for him, I mean, he's already a very wealthy, successful guy. It was still exponential for him. And what I've found is taking the same process that I've kind of built over the past few years and applied it to my own stuff. When we plug that into other businesses, you can get just astronomical results. I mean, it's just fascinating, and you don't have to be flashy on camera. You can actually do a lot of really interesting stuff to make yourself look more interesting than I certainly am. And there's certainly some tactics you can use to make it happen, for sure.
Very cool. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But, when you talk about impact, right? And, my last guest was Brian Kurtz, and we talked about direct response. And this is a question I always get often is how, besides subscribers, how do you measure the impact that you're having and the impact you're having on your business with YouTube?
Yeah. So it's an interesting question because sometimes in some cases, it's harder to measure than in others. So when it comes to impact in the world, I think that's always a tricky thing to answer. And I would say the best way that I can look at it is I look at the thousands of comments we get every single week, and people just responding, saying how, my advice and our advice in the company has changed their lives. And of course, when they take our premium programs, in my space, I teach people how to feel more confident in their life and how to find love. So in that case, the more people that let me know that they've gotten married or had kids or found the love of their life because of the advice, the better. So those are kind of the intangibles. And those are the things that keep you driving forward, even when you're not really just feeling that great about life. But you read some of that stuff and it fills you up with joy. So that's the starting point. And to answer your second question, when it comes to impact on your business, it's interesting because my business has always been YouTube based. With Sexy Confidence, we have a number of membership programs, digital products. We used to have coaching services where I had coaches. We've discontinued that due to just logistical challenges of getting enough coaches to service the amount of people who wanted to do it. But what I found is no other avenue of trying to grow the business has been as strong as YouTube. So we run Facebook ads. We get, I think just this morning I looked, in the past month, we've got 850,000 unique visitors to the website through SEO traffic. So it's a big brand. It's a big company. But nothing has moved the needle more than just our YouTube traffic. People seeing the videos, then searching for Sexy Confidence or clicking on any of the parts on the video or in the description, which we track all of that. The ROI that we see from just organic traffic as well as YouTube advertising is by far and large the absolute best investment. Except I would say my only asterisk would be like major press. Major press always helps. But I will say that most of my press, like in magazines like the New Yorker, New York Times, Glamour, Cosmo, all that has been through YouTube. So it all started with that. So I can only speak to that in saying that it all comes down to people watching your videos, getting to know you. And if they like what you're throwing out there, they're going to trust you and want to buy from you. And the only way you can make that happen is if you're authentic and real about it.
And so what do you feel, I'm a big fundamentals guy, right? And I feel like everyone, we'll talk about some of the tactics at the end here. And I think tactics are important, but I feel there's always some 3 or 4 fundamentals in anything that if you master those and you're consistent with them, which you talk a lot about consistency, that you will succeed. What do you feel if you had to start all over from scratch at 0, what are the 3 or 4 fundamentals that you would be focusing on with your YouTube channel?
Yeah. So for starters, you want to have a business. All right. And I get way too many people who reach out to us with viewership.com who want to start a YouTube channel in order to make money. And sure, you can do that. You can maybe make a couple grand a month, and that's if you're getting millions of views a month from getting paid from YouTube. But the real way to make a lasting impact is by having a business where you can sell things, because the more you're able to sell, the more you're able to make videos and invest in the process. So with that said, assuming you have a business right now, and I'm assuming most of your listeners are involved with a company or have a business, you really want to follow a 4-step process. And I call it the SPOP process. And luckily, this is what my agency does with clients all over the world all the time. So we're pretty
and I'm going to pause you real quick just to put a little plug for you in there. Viewership.com. It's in the show notes. Lots of great information if you want to get in contact. And he goes through a lot of this too. So just click on the show notes. All right. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure they know where to go.
I appreciate that. And yeah, just so you know, if you do ever want to talk to us, we have conversations with people all the time. Just apply at the website. And assuming you are a business, assuming you want to build your YouTube channel, we'd love to jump on a call with you. So
awesome.
It's a small plug, but honestly, we're not salespeople. We just want to help. And we just know a certain percentage of people are like, hey, let's work with you. So that helps. All right. So here's the process. It's really simple. SPOP. The S is for strategy. So most people just release content when they get an idea. They're like, oh, I had this idea for a video and I wanted to put it together and let's see if it's going to work. We found that doesn't work nearly as well as doing the right type of research into finding the type of topics that are actually performing right now on YouTube. So when we work with clients, we give them a list of topics that are not only topics they can rank for on YouTube, because YouTube is a search engine. It's the second largest in the world, but also YouTube videos that are really hot and trending right now. And most of the times business owners aren't fully aware of the trends that are happening in their given niche. And there can be trends in every niche. I mean, we have one client that does like HVAC stuff, and there are hot topics in HVAC. Who would know? So there are hot topics in every industry. Obviously, health and fitness is easier, but every industry there are. So being strategic about the type of content you're creating and how you're creating the content. So I should say on that, like, you're in my studio right now. I believe in this really important principle, which is video should be easy for you to make consistently. If you make it hard for yourself, if you make it so that you have to spend 3 days every month creating one video, it's never going to, your YouTube program is never going to last. It's never going to work. So we really work with people to craft that strategy so it is something they can stick with and they're creating the right type of topics. So that's strategy. P is post-production / editing. You can take any video, and with good post-production and editing, make it pop, make it punchy, make it interesting for YouTube. When I started viewership.com, I was like, I am not getting into editing. I hate it. I personally don't like editing. I've done it for years for my videos, but it got to a point where our clients were giving us videos that were so boring that they were never going to resonate with the audience. And it's not because the talent was boring. It's because the editing was off. So we have a portal where people just go ahead, shoot their videos. They'll shoot 4 to 6 videos in one sitting. So batch your videos and then upload it to our portal. And then our team of editors will punch it up, give it back to them. And by the way, you of course don't have to use us. You can do this on your own. But things like audio correction, visual correction for lighting, and most importantly, adding music at the right time, adding text on screen at the right time, and adding overlay. So let's say I'm giving an example to you, and I'm talking about yoga, and I'm saying, hey, and if you want to apply this principle to yoga, then you overlay video stock footage of someone doing yoga. These are things that give extra dimension to a video and are very, very easy to do and go a long way.
Cool.
So editing, post-production is the second part. It's really important. Third part is optimization. So we have this 22-step process I talk about in my book as well. It's another just small plug where basically where you get the most bang for your buck is in headlines and thumbnail on your video. If your headline and your thumbnail suck, it's not going anywhere. And sadly, most people get that wrong. So you really want to elicit an emotional response when someone looks at your videos, as well as making someone curious about what the video is about. Mm-hmm. So rather than make a video like Health and Fitness 101, that's pretty boring, right? That's not a very exciting, clickable headline. You'd make it 7 reasons why your health and fitness program is making you fat. And then you put like a thumbnail with a little arrow pointing to some like weird thing you're doing with health and fitness. Someone's going to look at that and be like, I have to click on that. Mm-hmm. And so long as your content fulfills the promise in the headline, so long as it's not clickbait, so long as you actually fulfill the promise, that's where you start getting an insane amount of views.
Awesome.
And then so far, sorry, I know I'm going on a little long, but I'll just...
No, this is great. This is awesome.
Awesome. Strategy, post-production, optimization, and the last one, which is the most ninja and the easiest place to lose money, but also the easiest way to make a lot of income on YouTube, is through YouTube advertising. So if you've ever been on YouTube, you probably notice those really annoying ads that pop up before you watch any type of video. And those are called pre-roll ads. And you can actually run very hyper-targeted ads based on people who are searching for certain things on YouTube or searching for certain things on Google or watching certain types of videos. So for example, we run a lot of YouTube ads for my marketing agency. If someone's watching a video about YouTube marketing, you're probably going to see my ad come up and be like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time doing YouTube marketing? You could have us do it for you. Click here. And then they sign up and then they become a lead. And there's a few different ways you can build your channel and use YouTube marketing side by side, YouTube advertising side by side, and just get astronomical results. So that's kind of the process, regardless of whether you work with an agency or not. If I had to boil it down to the 4 things, that's it, That's
great advice. It's funny because our YouTube optimization strategy, I think, is like 24 or 26 points. So, it's like, it's one of those things too, with waivers. You're like, oh, there's, yeah, especially over the years. But,
it changes too. Yeah. It depends.
Well, it's great to talk. What I love is, I met Adam about a month ago and we talked. I'm like, I'd love to have you on the show. But when I meet experts and we compare notes and, we've been heads down and you build up a process and you look and you're like, well, your process is pretty close to mine. And you do a lot of the same things. Now we're not YouTube channel building experts. We use it in a different way. The optimization is more important to us. We're more about that search because we work with like dentists and stuff. That said, it's awesome because it works, right? And if it works, it's here. But let's take a look real quick now at your and obviously if you're listening to the podcast, you're going to have to go over to my YouTube channel to watch this. But I want to take a look at your Facebook or your YouTube pages and your YouTube channels. Let me pull this up. And let's take a look at this one. So this is your main one, Sexy Confidence. Awesome. 447,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of subscribers. Wow. So what are the big things that we should be looking at when we're looking at how this channel is laid out?
Yeah, sure. So look at my most recent video, how to get a man to think about you nonstop. Okay. So this is someone on my team who optimized this. And you'll see that for starters, we use similar colors across the brand. So it's usually purple or a certain type of pink. So whenever someone sees that on their feed, they generally know it's us. And then we take a little screenshot from the video itself and then create an extra level of curiosity. So like get him addicted. It's clickbaity, but actually I do talk about the addiction of love in the sense that love can actually be an addicting chemical. And we talk about it. So actually
you fulfill the promise.
Well, yeah, you got to fulfill the promise. You can't say, get him addicted to you and then say, oh, just text him once a day and, go on a date with him and smile, right? That's not actually going to fulfill a promise of what you're talking about. So a lot of it is creating thumbnails and headlines. I mean, headlines are everything. So you'll see that at the top, if you go actually also to the top of the channel, create your love story. That is something I mention every single video. Hey there, Adam LoDoce, founder of Sexy Confidence, where I help you create your love story. So creating very consistent branding throughout the whole process. And we'll have people be like, I want to create my love story. We get anywhere from 12 to 15,000 email subscribers a month. And the number of people who are like, hey, I want to create my love story too. It's incredible. So it's just staying consistent with that brand, staying consistent with that messaging. You also see just on the channel art itself, I mention new episodes every week, which lately I haven't been as good about because I've just been focusing so much on viewership. But I have done for years, for like 4 years, I created a video every single week. Create your love story. So it's pretty clear that this is some type of love or dating advice channel. And then you'll notice I have a lead magnet there. Learn the 3 steps to finding true love. If they click on that little link there, that will take them. I don't know where that takes them. Probably to a webinar. I would strongly. We have all this.
I know. I have funnels that I'm like. I found one the other day. I'm clicking through. I'm like, I forgot all about this.
yeah. Oh my God, I have way too many of those. So yeah, and this is a webinar, again, driving a lot of value, and then we sell product. And then there's a program on here that is kind of an advanced program. And my whole foundation of starting this company, and I think it should be yours regardless if you are selling HVAC or you're a dentist and you're going to have an online marketing presence, is just give a ton of value. I mean, like, no matter what people see, whether it's a free webinar or it's my free content online, they are getting 80% of my best stuff. I don't hold back that much. I just give and give and give. My courses, quite frankly, are more of just a systematic approach to applying the advice than they are anything much more foundational than what I talk about on my channel. So, and this is the way to sell information nowadays. And I think a lot of people try to hold back and not give away their best stuff. Nowadays, the best way to get your information out there is just give it away. And this is especially true for those of you who are in the service business. This is what I love about viewership.com is we can start, and I haven't put enough effort into that channel, quite frankly, but you can put out a lot of content and give away your best stuff and just say at the end of it, hey, if you want us to implement this for you, we'll do it. And that's what we did with Neil Patel's channel. And that's why that was so successful is he would just give away all of his content. He'd teach you every single thing about search engine optimization, all that. And then at the end be like, hey, if you want my agency to do it for you, cool, apply. So
you know what? I've almost every person I have on, from Gary Vee through, gives that advice. But no matter how much I tell that advice to people, they have a tough time doing it. And how do you get over that with clients? Because they want to be like, oh, there's some secret sauce. I'm like, if you're providing a service, there is no secret sauce. I mean, well, there is. It's you. It's not. It's not any of the information out there. How do you get through to clients and get them past that mindset?
Weirdly, That's not usually my biggest objection. I gotta say, I haven't come across that in a major way because most people just kind of follow our way. Honestly, when I tell them, "Hey, give away all your best stuff, just throw it out there," that hasn't been the biggest objection, quite frankly.
Great.
The biggest challenge I've had is just getting people to consistently shoot video. That's always the hardest part. Not to kind of go in a different direction here, but that's always the biggest challenge is like people get really excited about our program. They get into it and they see the value. They see sales already going up, but it's like, oh, they go on vacation, then something else happens in their life. Maybe there's an emergency, and then they just get way behind.
Yep.
So the best way to guarantee that you're going to build a channel is to just get way ahead of schedule. Like I just shot a video for Sexy Confidence. I hadn't shot video for about 4 months. And then I shot another 4.5 months of content in about 3 hours. So you just got to get way ahead, batch your videos, and then then you have a program, and then just consistently release a video a week, and find the time to make it happen. So I would say that is always the biggest challenge, is just like getting ahead of schedule and having a release schedule, and if you have Gary V, I mean, that guy's a beast. He has a whole team, and he's got a video every single week. That's
but that's not where he started.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I remember we talked about his start at Wine Library, and it's like, it's like him with the crappy camera, with a crappy lighting and white. I mean, it was horrible. I remember the first time I saw it, I'm like, what is this crap? And he just did it over and over and over again until boom. So, and then I think a big thing is, if you guys are really serious about it, hiring someone like Adam, he's going to make sure you're accountable. He's going to help you batch it. They're going to help make sure it's all done so you can concentrate just on the content too.
Exactly. And that's the hardest part from where I stand, is just because I have my whole team doing everything else. So the only thing that takes time on my end is just creating the content, coming up with the ideas. And honestly, that's like the most fun part anyways. So they give me the topics. They say, hey, Adam, we know for a fact that this particular topic is crushing it. Do it. I go do it. And I'll sit around. I'll sometimes go to the beach, or depending on where I live, and just think about it and do research or based on my experience of coaching in the day, and come up with some fun videos. And then literally you could shoot it with your phone if you want. And upload it. If you have an editor, send it to them on Dropbox. If you work with us, just upload it to the portal, and then it's done. Like, that's the key thing. If you have to shoot the video, edit it, optimize it, promote it, do all of that, I can almost guarantee, unless you're Gary V, it's going to be a really, really long process, because you're going to tire out. If you're a business owner, like, you just have other things that will come up.
Unless you absolutely love doing all that stuff, which I know very few people that like to make content and edit it. Most people I know, once they get to the editing part, they're like, ugh.
No, it's terrible. Yeah.
Especially looking at yourself. People get frustrated. You overthink it. You're like, oh, this video sucks. You get in this, we've all been there, right? You're editing your own stuff, and like, this sucks. I'm going to go away from it. And then boom, 6 months later, no videos.
Right. And that brings up an important point, which is just your headspace. Confidence is such a huge part of this, and you can only build, just like anything in life, you can only build confidence through practice. There's no shortcut to being a confident person without just getting out there, failing most likely at first, and then realizing, you know what, it's not that bad. Like, it's like the first time that, if we have any men listening on here, the first time you ever approached a woman that you're attracted to for the first time and she shot you down, what happens? You think, building up to that, you're so nervous, and you think, oh my God, this is going to be the worst thing in the world. And then you realize, it's not that bad. Yeah, I can handle that. And you kind of keep trying. Of course, I relate everything as a dating coach to dating advice, but it's true in many ways that same thing with video. You put it out there, it flops, but you practice, you learn, and you get a little bit of good feedback. And before you know it, the confidence starts to build. And then there you go. You start to build that YouTube presence. No one becomes a star overnight. No one.
Yeah. I think another thing I saw, I'm going to go back actually to this,
Sure.
that because despite your success, you're still focused on women. And I hear that a lot from people too. So my thing's for everyone. How important to you is, do you still speak to a single avatar, to a single person, or tell me a little about your headspace in there? Because I think that helps too with, the rejection, because there's going to be people that reject you. But if you're talking to your avatar and they're coming through, then you get that confidence. Are you still thinking that way?
Definitely. So when I think of defining your niche, which is incredibly important, I actually just talked to a client about this the other day because they're redefining their niche a little bit. When you first start with anything, with any business, and this goes outside of YouTube in general, I'll just say, when you're thinking about your niche, you want to get pretty far down, right? Like in the pyramid. So for me, I didn't just go after single women. I went after single women who are lacking confidence between the ages of like 20 to 29. Because at the time when I started this, I was like 24 years old. That's kind of what I knew. And I'd always talked about confidence. Then as I've kind of grown in popularity and kind of reached this, and then as you become more popular, you can become more generalized. So now I really just target all single women. And I'm never going to go beyond that niche. I'm never going to go back to dating advice for men or anything like that. But as you become more popular with anything on social media, I think you can become more generalized because, you're growing in your market. So it's important to look at where you are in the marketplace and how small or how large you are. And like with viewership.com, like our focus right now is pretty much on people who are thought leaders or info marketers or people kind of like myself. We do have a few e-commerce businesses, but I have a feeling that as the business grows, we'll probably just be straight up all YouTube marketing. It's certainly something to think about. Is your niche where you kind of fall within it? And when you first start a YouTube channel, it's cool to be pretty specific on what it is exactly you're going after, so that when someone watches a video, they're like, "This person is speaking directly to me. Like I feel connected." And just a final note on that, I will say that I don't care how many viewers anyone has. It doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter. What matters most is how engaged they are and how connected to you they feel. So you could have a viewership of maybe 1,000 viewers a day. And if they are all CEOs of major Fortune 500 companies, then you are probably going to make a killing more than someone who is like just some random YouTuber giving beauty advice, or makeup tutorials, You know what I'm saying? So like really got to think about that as well when you're defining your niche.
Yeah. And it comes to the idea of the 1,000 true fans too. I love that. Right. Awesome. So we talked a little about what's your ninja tactic right now before. Let's get into that. What is the one thing that is really working for you right now and your clients?
Sure. So, one thing that we will do with a brand new channel is we do like to build that subscriber base. So we will actually run those annoying pre-roll ads that you see on YouTube. And the only call to action on the video is to subscribe to the channel. And at first I was a little hesitant to put money into this with my clients because I've never cared about subscribers. I've never done this for my channels. But with a brand new channel, you want to build a subscriber base pretty quickly. So we tested it out on a few channels. I won't say who, but pretty big name channels. And we found that their channel went from this and it just hockey sticked so quickly. Running pre-roll ads to just build subscribers, you can get a subscriber for anywhere from 25 cents to $1 per subscriber, which is pretty cheap. And once someone gets kind of in your orbit, then they will actually watch more and more of your videos. So it's a pretty ninja hack. And I'll be curious to see how much longer we can continue running these, but it's a great way to combine the power of YouTube organic with YouTube advertising.
Love it. Love it. Well, Adam, it's been awesome. Thank you so much for being on this show. This has been fantastic information. Viewership.com is the place to find you. Any last minute tips, tricks, advice that you want to give to people? And obviously, when can we watch the show? When was the show coming out?
So the show is airing June 10th. So get ready. And yeah, as far as just shooting video, look, you are going to be your toughest critic. And I'll say this, my most popular videos on YouTube are the ones that I liked the least. I'm telling you, the ones that have like, 4 million views on them even. They're not videos that I was super excited about. The videos that I put a lot of effort and time and energy into sometimes are my biggest flops. So the lesson to be learned here is you cannot control what your viewership likes. All you can do is create content, do it consistently, put it out there, make sure it's optimized, and see where it goes and listen to your audience. That's it. Because too many people try to viral hack and spend 10 days of production money into creating this perfect viral video and it flops. And that's just not the way to do it. So just pick up your phone, shoot some video and go make it happen.
Awesome. That's fantastic advice because that's the advice I give people too. So I know it's good. No, I'm just kidding. But awesome. Adam, thank you so much for being on the show.
And thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure.
It's been my pleasure. And thank you all for listening to Adam and I and taking us on your journey. This has been Iron Garlic and the Garlic Marketing Show. Video. You know it will make you an authority. You know it will get you more leads, better leads that close faster and spend more with you. And video stories will help you be remembered and connect with those perfect clients. The problem is, where do you start? Storycruise.com is the place to go. It's like a film crew with an S. What's your strategy? Do you do it yourself? Do you hire a videographer, an agency? Do you need an editor? How do you know if they really know your business and how to make videos for business that work? The answer to all of this and more can be found at storycruise.com. It is the place to find the latest video marketing strategies, the best gear for your business, as well as videographers, editors, and agencies near you that are trained in video storytelling for business. Go to storycruise.com/garlic to get special insider info for listeners of the Garlic Marketing Show, including special access to several of my courses, including my case story course. Go to storycruise.com/garlic to get a whole bunch of special offers just for listeners of the Garlic Marketing Show. Whether you're looking for a videographer or to do it yourself, go to storycruise.com/garlic to get started today.
That's it for the Garlic Marketing Show. If you want to get the inside scoop and the latest techniques, make sure to follow Iron Garlic on Facebook.